should be better. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Does it sound better? You should be able to hear me. Let me get a yes or no from the comments before I move forward. Okay. So, as I was saying now, thank you very much, y'all. I've been reading comics since I was 3 or 4 years old, so I read Marvel, DC, Black Panther, so it actually meant something to me. But on that note, if you take a look at the description to this YouTube video, I posted my itinerary for the next month, month and change. I'm going to Johannesburg, South Africa, Kenya, possibly Ghana, Mauritius, Amsterdam, New York City, and London. It's a busy schedule, and that schedule is part and parcel of the global Veritasium Roadshow. We're bringing Veritasium on the road. I'd like to come to Switzerland. I have to be invited, or have some business there. I know there's a lot going on in Zug, even though I think it may be slowing down from what I heard. But I'm flexible. My job is to get the world to adopt Veritasium and the VeADIR. Okay, and the VeADIR is coming along lovely, fantastic piece of kit from both macro financial and software engineering fit. If you look at the dates, I don't have the dates memorized, so if you look at the dates in the description to the YouTube video, you see the specific dates, okay? And I'll even meet and greet as many people as I can. You could coordinate it through Eleanor. Go to the Veritasium website, hit team, and contact Eleanor through there. Any new info to share with the MOU? I know I can't share that now. I signed it Friday, and this is Easter weekend, and so the guys in Africa won't be getting to work till Tuesday or so. After I sign it, I don't think they have a problem with me publicizing it at all. I doubt so. I actually have 2 more to sign. I need to get on that maybe tomorrow. And as long as we don't have any of this FUD nonsense, I'll do it. The behavior of certain members of the community discourages me from letting certain bits of information out because, we're business people, and the people that I do business with are business people, sovereign nations, etc. And they don't want to go through nonsense. So as long as everybody behaves, I share and share all. I see there are a bunch of questions. Also, we only have 76 members, but it's a weekend. Let's everybody please hit pound the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Also, click that notification tag if you don't get notifications. In addition, share it right now. Let's get more people there. Okay, and like the video. Let me start answering questions now, nice and early. Works hard, sounds good. When Vibranium, Switzerland, I explained, schedule. The UK, I'm coming to UK. Vancouver, not in the schedule, but I may be going to Canada. Tokyo, I don't have any plans for Tokyo yet, but if they invite me, I'm there. I explained the MOU issue. It should be signed next week sometime, or at least the first one. I have 2 more to sign, and the actual contract. The contract, I'm going to negotiate that some. The MOUs, I'm a little more flexible on. Hopefully I'll sign the other 2 this weekend after I get to read over them. Brazil and South America. Actually, there was a Panama trip that I was going to plan, and I still may do it. It's not written. I haven't bought the tickets and made the arrangements yet, but it's a possibility with Panama. Regulation. It's not in my best interest to discuss regulation. Of course, I need to be on the regulator's best side possible, but I'll give overall overview on regulation. The United States is the biggest, deepest, most liquid financial market in the world. As such, it's probably going to be one of the most regulated. And heretofore, guess what? It is. Regulation is ambiguous, in my opinion, and that ambiguity makes it rather onerous as well, because it's hard to, for certain entities to follow rules and be a good citizen if they don't know exactly what those rules are. So that's just about all I think I could say I'm doing my best to comply with everything. And of course, there are many financial centers outside of the U.S., not quite as big as the, but close or approaching or growing faster, one of those three, and much less regulation. So that's why I'm traveling so much outside the United States, but I'm doing a lot in the States as well. Okay? We are creating subsidiaries, not subsidiaries, I'm sorry, separate branches and arms. Interesting names such as Veritasium. Actually, I'm not going to give out the secret, but let's put it this way. Veritasium is looking to grow and expand and comply with all regulatory bodies and regulations on the books and possibly those coming down the pike as well. Thank you on the PPT report. Took a lot of work. That PPT report, that Populous report, is very, very, very expensive from the Veritasium's perspective. You know, approximately 8-9 months went into it. And these are guys who really know what they're doing. Hopefully it shows. The first draft of the PayPal report came in yesterday. And, you know, we got Saturday. We got guys working on it right now. Okay? So guys on 2 continents working on it, to be truthful. How's the contractor arrangements coming along? I actually sat down at my desk in the office, was going to go give out all the contractor accounts with contractor payments for the first group that would have been approved. And Harm, you're in that group, okay? And Mark A would be in that group as well because very, very faithful, loyal followers. And the videos and diagrams, we've done a lot. Fortunately, I left the security issues and device, as encrypted device, at the house. Hence, I will probably get to them tonight because I don't think I'm going to make the round trip. But hopefully by tomorrow, on Easter, definitely by Monday, the first set of contractor applicants will have accounts and will be able to access the VeADIR to test it as contractors of Veritasium. And Veritasium, the VeADIR, has many more features than anybody from outside of the Veritasium corporate has seen this of yet, or at least got to experience. Taking delivery of assets, pie charts and graphs and percentage compositions of individual exposures, choosing between taking physical delivery and having assets sold off in the market for F, canceling the contract at will, 99.9-year contracts, you know, exposures. It's a work of art. You know, I'm loving it. Thank you, Red 5, for saying we're setting the standard. Make VeADIR great again. Okay. Old Crypto Geek. How are the patents coming? They're moving along. We're moving along, prosecuting them in the UK and the US. The Asian entities, countries have a slightly different, Asian countries have a slightly different way of doing things. But we are in, again, US, UK, EU, Japan, and China. So moving along, okay? It's not simple. Patent applications were, you can come in if you want. The patent applications were not sparse, let's put it that way. We've been meeting with Steve in the UK. You know, I didn't plan on meeting with Steve in the UK, but since I'm going to the UK, it sounds like a plan. Okay, so Steve, if you're listening, give me a buzz and we set up an appointment. Okay? Doing a live. You want to come say hi? Show everybody that you're really working. It's Saturday. Okay? And this hard worker is banging out, I think, the PayPal report, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all working on a Saturday, or at least some or all of us are working on a Saturday. Okay. When is contract rent coming in the VeADIR? Contract rent is going to have an issue with regulations in the States, and we're also polishing up the code. The way we develop, we test code almost every day. Okay, so it goes through a set of tests, stated tests, and those tests, they have to pass the test to move on in development. We don't develop everything at once and then test it at the end. The contract rent will probably be legal both stateside and will probably be legal stateside when we finish our regulatory machinations, because we're making big moves to make many things compliant where they weren't before. Okay? I don't want to spill the beans because it's proprietary, but we are going to look a lot more like certain legacy institutions. Is the limit still 500 Veri to be a contractor or beta tester? Okay, right now it's no limit. To be a contractor, you have to be able to test the VeADIR, the product, at a vigorous level, and you have to be trustworthy. When coming to Sweden? I don't know, but I may be coming to Sweden soon. Maybe. Can't promise it. Hello from Slovakia, Joraj Brugo. I probably butchered your name, but I tried. Any more big deals on the plate? Yes, I have quite a few, but I said this often. Let me try and make it clear. When you do a deal, okay, the whole purpose of the deal is to be private, okay? I understand a lot of people want to know what's going on because they're excited, and I'm excited as well. But the best way to make sure the deal never happens is to talk about it on a YouTube video, okay? Hopefully that's easily understood. Are you working with Coinbase to be listed? No, I'm not working with Coinbase. The JSA, I'm not familiar with who the JSA is. Reggie, will you be in Zurich? When I have business in Zurich, I'll go. Obviously, it should be obvious I'm not afraid to jump on a plane and travel. I'll even spend an extended amount of time. Those who see me in the other cities know I'll grab my whole family and come and we all work. But I need to have a accretive business in the destination, or at least a strong possibility of it. So, Sweden, Switzerland, Zurich, Zug, The Hague, any of these cities I'm ready to go to. Anywhere in Asia. We just got back from Asia, actually. I'm willing to go. I just need strong business prospects. The VeADIR is very utilitarian. So if you know anybody, everybody can act as a Veritasium or VeADIR salesperson, or at least pass the word along. Just do the job for me, that initial introduction, and I'll travel the world for you guys to create value for Veritasium. If you go to Canada, can you announce which events you'll be speaking at? I will do that as long as they are public events. Andre Fuentes, thank you, Reggie, for your help with translations. I will do that. Is the Veritasium doc still on track for next week? I don't know what the Veritasium doc is, so I can't really answer that question. The PayPal would be, you think it's on track for the end of the week?
Yeah, I think we're close.
Okay. What I might do, PayPal, of course, will not be free, but I do give teasers. We'll do a one-page summary, or page-ish, maybe a little less than a page. But I think I'll throw a copy of the static model out to show you exactly what level of expertise and how much effort goes in there. Again, you'll be shocked. If you're impressed with what we did with Populous, you'll be twice as impressed with PayPal. I will also, by then, have a discussion group open on the Veritasium website where I will personally address a lot of the pros and cons of each prospect, and we'll have guests on as well, like the genius behind me and the other geniuses who put it together, okay? And I do mean it. He's a smart dude, genius. How have you been doing? You've been working hard? Do you think projects such as VeADIR and PPT, who launch a successful product, will break away from being tied to BTC price or Bitcoin holding them down? The reason why there's a strong correlation of with Bitcoin and or Ethereum and the ERC20 tokens is because of the sophistication of the entities that are buying and selling them. That's where the correlation comes from. I don't think the correlation comes from anything else. I call VeADIR and PPT, or at least Populous and Veritasium, successful, but we're not successful yet. Success should be identified as having 5 years of very strong cash flows growing at triple digits quarterly. So that's success. I think we're quite capable of it. It's a possibility we could show success before then because of the unique platform economics of blockchain companies. But woulda, shoulda, coulda, we'll find out when it gets there. My entire business life now is Veritasium, everything except for family, so I'm definitely putting the effort in. And after doing payroll yesterday and going through legal fees and consultants and everything else, I'm spending enough money, trust me. So it's not like the investment's not there. Any news on PayPal? We just addressed that. Menro Donoghue. Hi, how you doing? I seem very relaxed. I have no problem to be nervous, no reason to be nervous. Or I do, but I'm tired of being nervous, so thank you. Thanks to my very portfolio, still holding quite well. Veritasium team's due diligence from the outset will pay massive dividends down the road. I do hope so. We've seen evidence of thinking a little before we stepped, and the process thus far. Unfortunately, I can't speak of that in public, but if you use your head, you better figure it out. Zurich, when I have business in Zurich, I will go. Don't get assassinated. Okay, I'll keep that in mind and try my best not to. How often do I work out? When I get the chance. Not much recently, but I'm probably going to work out today. There's a gym right down the street. I'm going to teach Andrew high-level martial arts. Okay, I actually have my focus pads in there. Did you notice that?
No, I gotta let my back heal first.
Oh, that is true. I totally forgot about that. Okay, he's not going to work out for another 30 days or so. Do you want to tell the story of how you hurt your back? Nah.
No.
Okay. Okay, if people in the chat do not already know, Coinbase is adding ERC20 tokens to its platform. Okay. Reggie, the true disruptor, thank you. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, take a look at the short advert that we did in Dubai. As a matter of fact, I put it on the site. So if you go to the Veritasium site, that should be the first thing that loads. Take a look at it. I had true video professionals do it, and it did an excellent job, actually. There's a much longer documentary. It should be a minimum of at least 10 minutes to probably 30 minutes or so, or an hour, because we did about 20 hours worth of footage. And that will be coming out sometime soon as well. When will Very holders, I'm talking, all Very holders can use the platform from a technical perspective. What holds us back here is stateside is U.S. regulation, okay? Depending on your jurisdiction, you'll be able to use the VeADIR almost immediately. The code audit should be finished this weekend in European time, Central Eastern European time. And I will have a report sometime next week. It all depends on what the report says. Remember, the purpose of having code audit is to pull out the holes and weaknesses, bugs, and insecurities that we didn't catch in building it. Theoretically, it should guaranteedly be a few because that's what the way software works. So I'm expecting there to be some snafus to clean up. In the small and miraculous chance that there's not, I will redact the code audit report and I'll actually publish it because I do stuff like that. I'll be as open as I can as long as the business is profitable and competitive. When we'll be on more exchanges so we can buy Veri. A lot of exchanges don't like Veri, you know, just like the guys over at Reddit call us scam. I think I have an idea why they won't, and the ability to buy Veri and sell, I think we'll solve very soon. I can't tell you exactly how yet, but use your head, and I think you come to a conclusion. If you don't want to do all the guesswork, then I'll be able to tell you, I will be able to tell you when the time comes and it's appropriate from a regulatory perspective. Okay, now everybody who's asking me when I'm going to be where, I posted the entire itinerary in the description of this video, so go take a look at it. And people who want to get a venue, I don't even know if I picked the venue for London yet, but when I do, I will update it and post it on the website. Kathy Hargaden from Cyprus, how are you? Any thoughts on branding? Always thoughts on branding. If you have any ideas, you can reach us and we could talk about it. What's your soccer team, Reggie? I don't have time to follow soccer, unfortunately. Maybe when they get this going and I step down to be just the janitor, the accountant, and the CEO, I'll have time. How often will contract rental pay out? That's not a question I can answer in a video here. Okay, looks like I lost everybody, so I'm back. While I'm here, everybody, I see I have 162 people. I'm going to try and do this at a scheduled time. I realize I'd have between 500 and 1,000. Take a look at the VeADIR. If you go again to the front page, I made a couple of changes. You can click the Access VeADIR. You can actually access the application. But due to regulatory restrictions, you can only look at it in spectator view. But in spectator view, I believe you can see what that proportion is. Right now, it's roughly 5%, which is the very fee. So just do the math, 5 to 100. Dude behind you has been hitting the gym, decent arms. Okay. Okay. I got faith in you, Reggie. Have no doubts. But thank you very much. I do appreciate the faith, and I'm working hard to make sure you deserve it. You want to hit the dude with the decent arms behind me? Ask him any questions since he's here. A quick change conference call. We could do a conference call. We can't do one now. Contact Eleanor. If you go to the team page, the VE team on the blog, you can contact Eleanor and she will help arrange that. When you're going to be on more exchanges, that's up to the exchanges. You know, I don't control exchanges. One thing I will not do is pay an exchange millions of dollars. Are you in Miami? No, I'm not in Miami. I'm in Times Square. There's a Veritasium office. I go to Miami when it gets too cold for me to be in New York. The JSC, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, we're still waiting for them to get back to me. I believe the Jamaica Stock Exchange has hit some political snafus. That's what happens. Sometimes it's business. Will it actually come to fruition? I don't know, but as of right now, the ball is in the JSC's court. Have you incorporated in Malta, given that government's openness in crypto? I don't really want to share where I incorporate, but I can share I haven't done it as of yet. Will I go to Denver someday? I'm sure I will if I have a reason to go. And there should be. Will you be OMG report? OMG has a cursory report. Those are going to be done over. I don't know when. The reports are extremely manpower intensive. But I can guarantee that there'll be a PayPal report out within the next week or two. Are you going to work with accountancy firms like KPMG and PwC? Very strong plans too. Possible to say I'm working with them now. Waiting for SORT report. When? When somebody pays for a SORT report, we will issue one. Continuous success and keep one step ahead of the pack. I'm trying to keep 15 steps. It's a lot of work though, a lot of running. Is there a PPT report with the price valuation in it available for sale? Yes, there is. Contact again, eleanor.reed@Veritasium. You can get her email and contact address from the team page at the Veritasium site. PPP better than PPT? Okay, that's a question. That's all you need to know. I don't think it's that simple, but read the reports and you can gather for yourself. Again, everybody hit the subscribe button and the share button and the like button. If you can do it now, let me see if I see the numbers go up. It makes me happier. Do you think President Trump is pro-crypto? I have absolutely no idea. Would I meet with him and show him what Veri can do? If he's willing to meet me, of course I would. Are there talks about issuing a dividend? No. The dividend, if there were to be issued, would go to equity shareholders, and there are very, very few of them, which I'm the majority equity shareholder at this time, just to be clear. Okay, tokens or prepaid license fees, they're not equities or securities or anything of the sort. Reggie just confirmed sentiment on PPT. I don't remember doing that, but okay. You can read the report and you can see exactly how we stand on this. Do you believe Veritasium will have a hard being in compliance with regulators? I think we can handle it. You know, we're going through the regulatory, jungle, and we're doing what needs to be done. Very, very competent law firm, very well-versed in things regulatory. Do I work with analytics team at accountancy firms like PwC? Not as of right now. I see a couple of people have asked me for a SORT report. You can order a Veritasium report. You'll get it contingent upon resources. Right now, considering our backlog, it would be about $10,000 in Veri. Okay, and we can discuss that. Simply email me directly. We can have a chat about that. Keep up the great work. Will we be veritizing rental homes in the near future? Yes, we will. I don't know if we'll be doing it in the States, but we definitely will be doing it in the very near future. Okay? Potentially in places such as the UAE or Sub-Saharan Africa. How much does it cost to vary to request a report and asset? Right now, it would be about $10,000. It's contingent upon resource availability. So when the guys are very, very busy, it takes more to, get me to pull them off whatever they're working on. Any talks with agents of Mohammed bin Salman, Veritasium? Well, if I were having talks, I really couldn't say it on the YouTube video. I don't want to be rude or impolite, but again, private discussions in business are things not to be put on a YouTube live video. So please don't ask things such as that, because that's very disrespectful to business partners. Can you expand on the offshore bank opportunity? I will when I get there. Don't want to discuss it before the things are done. Okay, anything you'd like to say, Andrew? No?
I'm good.
Okay, what's your best advice for small Veritasium holders for future and coming months? I don't think it's my place to give advice on a YouTube video, but the VeADIR software is interesting, so if I was a small Veri holder, I would buy my time to get to the VeADIR. In the meantime, I'd study all things fundamental and platform related. Platform economics are going to be a big difference between business now and business just 10 years ago. Okay, so I don't see any new questions. I see a lot of repeating of the old questions. How can firms benefit from your services that provide high analytical level information on companies to gain an edge against the competition? Well, I don't know what high-level analytical information is. Do you mean fundamental analysis or some type of quantitative analysis? You have to be much more specific in your question. Saludos desde Argentina. Thank you, Wani. Once you tokenize something, for example, real estate, where will I be able to purchase it? Well, it depends on what it was tokenized for and why and who tokenized it. So if we were to tokenize something, an asset that we had, and we were to sell it, first we pick a jurisdiction that it was legal to sell, and we tokenize it in a manner that would be legal. For instance, in the U.S., the tokenization of a hard asset will most likely be a security or looked at as a security, so that's how we would approach it, and or potentially have some commodity aspects to it. I'm not a lawyer, of course, I'm just giving you a hypothetical. And other jurisdictions outside of the U.S., it really depends on the jurisdiction. You could also have an over-the-counter peer-to-peer transaction where Andrew could tokenize something and just sell it to me directly. That I doubt would have any aspects of a regulated commodity or securities transaction. But again, that's my layman's opinion. Yes, I will do OTC deals when they're appropriate. Okay, this guy made business solutions says Reddit is a joke, and I try and stay out of the fray, but honestly, I can't disagree with you. Everybody who called Veritasium a scam and fraud on Reddit should now turn around and be full-grown men. I would say in women, but it's mostly young men, and say we were absolutely wrong because we didn't understand the business model, and we judged the business on things such as how pretty the website is or whether someone wrote a white paper about a business, which again, I like to reiterate, is absolute nonsense. White papers by definition are academic theses. So if you want to write something to describe a business, in the States we call that a business plan, which you don't see too many of. So, if everybody apologizes on Reddit, I can say, well, they were wrong and rude and jumped the gun and inaccurate in their analysis and perception, but at least they're man and woman enough to apologize. I don't think you'll see that, and for that thought alone, when you do research, going to social media sites is not a good place to do research, okay? Do real research. Thank you for the exchange info. You got it? Randy's ready? Okay, I'm glad you are. Is there a report coming? Yes, there is. on a nice sunny afternoon, probably the first sunny afternoon, Saturday afternoon in New York, real time. Got guys in the office working. Again, I came prepared to give out all the contractor accounts, so I'm going to have to push that off. And since tomorrow's Easter, and my mother loves to celebrate Easter, that may get pushed off later on. I'll see if I can get to it tonight, though. The very active members from the Telegram group that did the YouTube videos and the diagrams, please contact me. I will give you specific accounts personally. I should have got to you guys a lot earlier. I just, been busy. I definitely did not forget about you, though. Okay? Mark A. and Harm. Can you post info for your London visit on YouTube? It's already there. Look at the description, please. As for the actual venue, I didn't get that, but I will do that as well. There is a potential, not that I'm super popular, famous, but if I post my personal location, I would like some privacy. So I'll probably give a general location, and for actual meet and greets, that could be arranged through Eleanor Reed. And again, you can reach everybody through the site. Go through the team page. Sean Singletary from Greg. Okay. So I've been on here for a while. I'm going to sign off in a couple of minutes. Let me answer a few more questions. How is U.S. regulation going to affect those of us in other countries when it comes to using the VeADIR? Will all countries be blocked because the VeADIR is in the U.S.? That's an interesting question. Again, it's not my best interest to even discuss regulation in public, but I will open foreign, I will have companies formed in jurisdictions and nations there where there's a lot of potential business for Veritasium and the VeADIR. And when I do, there will be native businesses, and the native versions of the VeADIR will be launched. That would be outside of the U.S. Of course, that still means I have to comply with those native jurisdictions, rules, laws, and regulations, which I have no problem with doing, just like in the U.S. But those countries are different, just like the U.S. is different. So as long as we're legal and follow the laws, I'll try and make it available to everybody. Hopefully that was a way of answering your question. Fundamental Factory, I don't know if you received your email. Send the emails to eleanor.reid, R-E-I-D, at veritasium.com, and there's a much higher likelihood of having them responded to timely. Okay, give the team a big hug. I'll do that some other time. Right? You want a hug? No, thank you. Right? Again, I'm the one that does a lot of the public communication. A lot of people have been thinking I've been doing myself for a while, for years. I've never been doing this on my own. If you take a look at what we've accomplished since 2014, it's actually impossible for one person to do this. It's impossible for two people to do it, for those who speculated that somehow Messiah was a development arm of Veritasium. In all actuality, the minimum we've had, smallest team we've had has been 6, and that's the smallest, okay? And right now we have, including contractors, about 22 people, okay? And I need to grow because my eyes are red and I'm still not getting enough sleep. And my son is actually calling me, so I'm going to end this in 1 or 2 minutes. Do you operate like companies house for research in the UK? I doubt so very seriously. Our research is extremely independent, okay? And we eat off the research. Think of us more like a buy-side institution. Love the blog post, or more of think of us a family office, but a family office that does most of its own research internally versus relying on sell-side institutions or entities such as hedge funds or private equity funds. We're probably all that put together, and we sell a platform. We don't make money off of transactions or success fees from assets under management. We basically sell a platform. Okay. Am I correct in describing Veri as a smart investing platform on a blockchain? Yeah, I think you can do that. The VeADIR is described as that, not Veri. Veri are the prepaid fees for our products and services that you need to access the VeADIR and the research. Please, everybody, just go to the website. I spend a lot of time doing a lot of descriptions on the website and the videos. I actually have to update the website, fine-tune and tweak the technical description, or the layman's version of the technical description of the VeADIR. I see I have a lot more questions. I have to catch up. Why does Andrew look like he just... see, I told you, it's a lot of comedians. Everybody press the like button. Thank you. Please do. Is there a viable ICO company candidate with the potential of closely working with Veritasium that we could support? That's an interesting question. Let me talk to a few. I have a few in mind, but I don't want to say anything until I've talked to the CEO and finish your due diligence. But there's one or two that, I think we can work with. Ever since I got into crypto, I haven't worked out. It's been almost a year in May. Work out, dude. It's good for your health. What kind of advertising will you be looking for at Veri in the future? I don't know. Something that's efficient and easily quantifiable. What's your math on the Vancouver housing market? Okay, well, I've discussed the Vancouver housing market a couple of times in the past, but I'm not here to give any financial investment advice, particularly on real estate. But I'm here to do an AMA on the VeADIR, so I can answer those questions. Been here since day one. That's Sully the barber. Love what you're doing. Where's the safest place to advise friends to purchase Veri? The public places purchase Veri are faltering. I don't want to discuss that now. Use your head. You could discuss why or guess. I'm not saying use your head. I want to be impolite. But you can also just find people and tell people you want to buy Veri. Go to the Telegram group and see if anybody's willing to sell it. Okay? And Fork Delta does work, if I'm not mistaken. They just had a fallout between the developers. The developers are leaving and looking like they're going to do community-owned exchange, which is interesting. Just got to make sure it's legal. Any updates on the political machine? I can't give you updates now because that's sort of a top secret thing. I just announced it because I was excited about it. It will be a couple of quarters off though. Okay? Yes, you can collateralize mortgage with Veritasium. Yes, you can. Okay, so I am going to have to sign off because now my personal life is cutting into working on a Saturday. Everybody who sent an email to contract to be a contract tester, the contract beta tester on the VeADIR, send them again. Send them to eleanor.reed. You can get her email from the Veritasium team section, okay? And CC me as well. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to go. I'll do one more question before I go. You ask it. And after I leave, everybody help pass the video around. I'll try and do these a bit more often. Any planned release date for a public beta or launch? Well, whatever we plan is irrelevant because it's not up to us. The VeADIR is ready to go. In my opinion, the VeADIR right now is in release for front-end use for the public. It's in release candidate format. For those who are not familiar with it, release candidate status is what comes after beta status. We pulled out massive bugs, any real bugs that are in there, ones that we reintroduced with the new features. Of course, we haven't found any yet, but it runs very smooth. It's ready to go. I love to test it in a large-scale environment to see how it scales. The engineer said it should scale quite well, but we have our regulatory restrictions, which means we have to take our time and go slowly. Okay? Well, not that slow. We're moving at a decent pace. I expect to have some news for you in 2 months. Okay? Outside of the U.S., things will move much, much faster, and not everywhere outside the U.S., but there are places. But those would be totally separate entities from what's happening in the U.S. Okay? You're welcome. Thank you, Jeremy, for saying thank you for doing the AMAs. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to go, okay? Pass the word around. I posted a bunch of videos, okay? Take a look at them. There's a lot of footage, and when the professionally edited documentary comes out, it should be quite educational, okay? Goodbye. Au revoir, sayonara, peace, hado, and das VeADIR. I learned that.